Inspired by Think and Grow Rich, here is a powerful, original, compact, continuous script you can use directly for a long-form video, no breaks, sentence after sentence, strong educational plus motivational tone. Your life right now is not a coincidence, it is the visible result of invisible thoughts repeated over time. Every result you see around you first existed in the mind as an idea, a belief, or a decision that refused to disappear. And the difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is not luck, not background, not even talent, but the intensity and clarity of their desire. Because everything begins with a burning desire, not a weak wish, not a maybe one day, but a decision so strong that it becomes impossible to ignore. A desire that occupies your mind daily, that follows you in silence, that pushes you forward even when you feel tired. Because when desire becomes obsession, the mind begins to search for ways instead of excuses. And this is where transformation starts. Most people fail not because they lack opportunity, but because they never decide exactly what they want. They move through life reacting instead of creating, hoping instead of building, waiting instead of acting, and the mind cannot work with confusion. It needs direction, it needs clarity, it needs a target, because once you define exactly what you want, your brain begins to filter reality differently. You start noticing opportunities you ignored before, connections become visible, ideas start forming, and what once felt impossible slowly becomes logical. But desire alone is not enough, because the second force that shapes your reality is belief, and belief is not something you either have or don't have. Belief is something you build, something you train, something you repeat until it becomes part of your identity. Because if deep inside you believe that success is not for you, that money is hard, that opportunities are rare, your mind will protect that belief at all costs. It will reject ideas, avoid risks, and sabotage your actions without you even realizing it, because the mind always works to prove itself right, not to make you successful. This is why repetition becomes power, because what you tell yourself daily becomes your internal truth, whether it is positive or negative. And most people are unknowingly programming themselves for limitation, repeating doubts, fears, and past failures, reinforcing a reality they claim they want to escape. But if you understand this principle, you can reverse it. You can consciously install new beliefs. You can start feeding your mind with certainty, possibility, and confidence, even before you see results, because the external world always follows the internal one. Your thoughts are not harmless, they are instructions. Every thought you repeat sends a signal to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious does not question, it executes. It takes those repeated thoughts and turns them into habits, decisions, behaviors, and eventually results. And this is why two people can have the same opportunities but completely different outcomes, because one sees possibility and acts, while the other sees risk and hesitates, and over time those small differences compound into completely different lives. There is also a hidden force most people underestimate, and that is persistence. Because success is rarely immediate, it is built through resistance, through moments where nothing seems to work, through phases where results are invisible. And this is where most people quit, not because they are incapable, but because they expect fast rewards, and when they don't see them, they interpret it as failure. But persistence is what separates temporary defeat from permanent failure, because every successful person you see has gone through moments where quitting seemed easier, but they chose to continue. And persistence is not just about working harder, it is about staying mentally aligned with your goal, even when circumstances try to distract you. It is about maintaining focus when results are delayed, about protecting your vision from negative influences, from people who doubt, from environments that weaken your belief, because your mind is constantly absorbing energy from what surrounds you, and if you are not careful, you will adopt the fears and limitations of others without realizing it. This is why environment matters, not only physical environment but mental environment, what you listen to, what you watch, what conversations you engage in, because everything you consume is shaping your thinking, and your thinking is shaping your life. And if you want to change your results, you must first change what you allow into your mind, You must become selective, intentional, disciplined, because success is not built randomly, it is built deliberately. Another powerful principle is decision, because indecision creates delay, and delay destroys momentum, and most people spend too much time analyzing, doubting, questioning, waiting for perfect conditions, but perfection does not exist. Clarity comes from action, not from thinking, and every decision you make strengthens your confidence, while every delay weakens it, because confidence is built through movement, not through preparation alone. You also need to understand the role of imagination, because everything you see around you was once imagined. Every business, every invention, every success story started as an idea in someone's mind. And imagination is not something childish or unrealistic. It is a tool, a powerful tool that allows you to see beyond your current reality, to design a future that does not yet exist. And when combined with belief and action, imagination becomes creation. And then there is the power of focus, because energy flows where attention goes, and if your attention is scattered, your results will be scattered, but if your attention is directed, consistent, and intentional, your results will reflect that. And in a world full of distractions, focus becomes a competitive advantage, because most people are too distracted to build something meaningful. You must also learn to control fear, because fear is not a signal to stop, it is a signal that you are moving beyond your comfort zone. And growth never happens inside comfort. It happens when you challenge yourself, when you take risks, when you move despite uncertainty. And the people who succeed are not fearless, they simply act in spite of fear. And perhaps one of the most important realizations is that money, success, and opportunities are not external gifts. They are reflections of internal alignment. They are results of mindset, decisions, habits, and persistence combined over time. And once you understand this, you stop waiting for external changes, and you start working on internal transformation, because that is where real power is. Your mind is not just something you use occasionally, it is the system that creates your entire life, and if you learn how to direct it, how to program it, how to discipline it, you gain control over your results, your future, your identity. And this is not theory, this is a practical process, something you apply daily, through your thoughts, your actions, your decisions, your environment. So if you feel stuck, if you feel like nothing is changing, if you feel like you are working hard but not seeing results, understand this. The shift does not start outside, it starts inside. It starts with what you think, what you believe, what you repeat, and what you are willing to commit to without immediate reward. Because transformation is not instant, but it is inevitable if you stay consistent. Decide what you want, believe that it is possible, act with persistence, protect your mindset, eliminate doubt, and continue moving forward even when progress feels slow, because one day, what once felt impossible will become your reality, and you will realize that the key was never outside of you, it was always in your mind. Now the question is not whether change is possible. The question is whether you are ready to think differently, to act differently, and to become the person capable of creating the life you say you want. Continue. And once you truly understand this, you begin to see that success is not something you chase, it is something you attract by becoming aligned with it, because the moment your thoughts, beliefs, and actions start moving in the same direction, resistance begins to disappear and progress starts to feel natural, not forced, not chaotic, but structured and inevitable. And this is where most people experience their first real breakthrough, not because something magical happened outside, but because something shifted inside. There is a moment in every transformation where you realize that excuses no longer have power over you, where blaming circumstances feels weak, where waiting feels like wasting time, and in that moment you take full responsibility, not in a negative way, but in a powerful way, because responsibility means control, and control means you can change things, and this mindset alone separates leaders from followers, creators from observers. You start to understand that your past does not define your future unless you allow it, because most people carry their past like a limitation, repeating old stories, old failures, old fears, reinforcing a version of themselves that no longer serves them. But the truth is your past is only information, not identity, and the moment you stop identifying with it, you create space for something new. And then discipline enters your life, not as something restrictive, but as something liberating, because discipline removes chaos, it creates structure, it allows you to act even when motivation disappears, because motivation is temporary. But discipline is consistent, and consistency is what builds results over time, not intensity for a few days, but small actions repeated daily with intention. You begin to design your days differently, you no longer wake up without direction, you no longer move randomly through tasks, you start with purpose, with clarity, with intention, because you understand that every day is a building block. Every decision matters, every hour counts, and over time these small controlled days turn into a controlled life. You also learn the importance of energy, because your energy determines your performance, your focus, your decisions, and if your energy is low, your results will reflect that. So you become more aware of how you use your time, who you spend it with, what drains you, what builds you, because not everything deserves your attention, and protecting your energy becomes a priority. Another shift happens when you stop seeking validation from others, because you realize that most people are operating from their own limitations, their own fears, their own beliefs, and if you depend on their approval, you will limit your own growth. So you start trusting yourself more, listening to your intuition, making decisions based on your vision, not on external opinions. You begin to understand that failure is not something to avoid, it is something to use, because every failure contains feedback, every mistake contains information, and if you are willing to learn instead of react emotionally, you accelerate your growth, because you stop repeating the same patterns and start evolving. And as you continue, your confidence grows, not because everything is perfect, but because you have proof that you can handle challenges, proof that you can adapt, proof that you can continue even when things are uncertain. And this confidence becomes your foundation, something that cannot be easily shaken by external circumstances. You also become more patient, not passive, but patient with purpose, because you understand that real results take time, that building something valuable is a process, and rushing often leads to weak foundations, so you focus on quality, on consistency, on long-term growth instead of short-term satisfaction. And slowly, almost without noticing, your identity changes. You no longer see yourself as someone who hopes for success, but as someone who creates it. You no longer think like before, you no longer react like before, because your mindset has evolved. And with it, your actions, your habits, your results. People around you may not understand this change at first, they may question it, they may doubt it, but that is part of the process, because growth often creates distance, not necessarily physically, but mentally. Because you start operating at a different level, with different standards, different expectations, different goals. And this is where you must stay strong, because going back to old habits is always easier than building new ones. Comfort will always try to pull you back. Distractions will always exist. But now you are aware, now you recognize these patterns. And awareness gives you the power to choose differently. You begin to value time differently. You stop wasting it on things that do not contribute to your growth. You become more intentional with your actions, more focused on your priorities, because you understand that time is the only resource you cannot recover, and how you use it determines your future. And as your results start to appear, even in small ways, your belief strengthens even more, because now it is no longer just theory, it is experience, and experience creates certainty, and certainty creates momentum, and momentum accelerates everything. At this stage, you realize that success is not a single event, it is a continuous process, a cycle of growth, learning, adapting, improving, and every level you reach opens the door to another level, another challenge, another opportunity to evolve. And instead of fearing this, you embrace it, because growth becomes part of who you are. You also start to understand the power of contribution, because true success is not just about what you gain, but about what you give, about how you impact others, how you inspire, how you create value, because the more value you provide, the more opportunities come back to you, and this creates a cycle of abundance. And abundance is not just money, it is a mindset. It is the belief that there is enough opportunities, enough success, enough growth for everyone. And when you operate from abundance instead of scarcity, your decisions change, your actions change, your results change. You stop competing with others and start competing with your previous self. You focus on becoming better, stronger, smarter, more disciplined, more aware, because real competition is internal, not external. And this mindset removes pressure and replaces it with purpose. And finally, you understand that everything you have built started from a single decision, a decision to think differently, to act differently, to refuse to stay the same, and that decision, repeated daily through your thoughts and actions, created a completely new reality. So if you are still at the beginning, if you are still searching, still doubting, still waiting for a sign, understand this. This is your sign, not because something outside told you, but because something inside you is ready to change, ready to grow, ready to take control. And the only thing left now is action, consistent, focused, intentional action. Because knowledge without action changes nothing, but knowledge applied consistently can transform everything. Continue. And at a deeper level you begin to realize that your mind is not just reacting to reality, it is shaping it continuously, silently, through patterns you either control or ignore. And once you become aware of this, you can no longer go back to unconscious living, because now every thought matters, every reaction matters, every internal dialogue becomes a tool or a limitation depending on how you use it. You start observing yourself more, not judging, but understanding, noticing how you respond to pressure, how you react to failure, how you speak to yourself in moments of doubt, because this internal voice becomes the foundation of your external life. And if that voice is weak, uncertain, negative, your results will reflect it. But if that voice becomes strong, focused, and disciplined, everything begins to shift. You begin to replace automatic reactions with intentional responses. Instead of saying this is too hard, you start saying this is part of the process. Instead of thinking I can't do this, you shift to I am learning how to do this. And these small changes may seem insignificant, but repeated daily, they rewire your thinking, they reshape your identity, they redefine what you believe is possible. At this stage, you also understand that success requires emotional control, because emotions can either drive you forward or hold you back. And most people are controlled by how they feel in the moment. They act when they feel motivated and stop when they feel tired. But real growth comes when you act regardless of emotion, when you stay committed even when you don't feel like it, because discipline overrides temporary feelings. You begin to detach from instant gratification, understanding that real rewards come later, that building something meaningful requires time, patience, and consistency. And while others look for quick results, you stay focused on long-term outcomes, knowing that delayed gratification is one of the strongest predictors of success. Another transformation happens when you stop fearing rejection, because you realize that rejection is not personal. It is part of the process. Every opportunity, every connection, every success path involves moments where you are not accepted, where things do not go your way, but instead of stopping, you adapt, you refine, you continue, because rejection does not define you, it redirects you. You also start to see problems differently, not as obstacles, but as opportunities to grow, to improve, to find better solutions, because every problem contains a lesson, and every lesson moves you forward if you are willing to learn from it. And this mindset alone transforms challenges into advantages. You begin to take calculated risks, understanding that staying in the same place is the biggest risk of all, because nothing changes without action, and action always involves uncertainty, but instead of avoiding it, you embrace it, because you know that growth lives on the other side of uncertainty. You also develop a stronger sense of self-trust, because every time you make a decision and follow through, every time you commit and complete, every time you push through difficulty, you prove to yourself that you are capable, and this proof becomes unshakable over time, building a level of confidence that does not depend on external validation. Your standards rise, not because you want more for ego, but because you understand your potential. You no longer accept mediocrity, you no longer settle for less than what you know you can achieve. And this shift in standards automatically changes your actions, your habits, your environment. You become more intentional with your goals, breaking them down into clear steps, focusing on execution instead of just dreaming, because dreams without action remain ideas, but structured action turns ideas into reality. And this is where real progress happens. You also learn to manage your focus like a resource, because attention is limited, and where you place it determines your results, so you eliminate distractions, reduce noise, and prioritize what truly matters, because clarity requires simplicity, and simplicity requires discipline. At this level, you begin to experience moments of flow, where your actions feel aligned, where progress feels natural, where effort turns into momentum, and this is the result of consistent work, clear vision, and mental alignment, not luck, not coincidence, but preparation meeting opportunity. You also understand that setbacks will still happen, challenges will still appear, but now you are different, now you respond differently, you stay grounded, you stay focused, you adjust your strategy, but you do not lose your vision, because your vision is stronger than temporary circumstances. And as you continue this journey, your identity becomes your strongest asset, because who you are determines what you do, and what you do determines what you achieve, and instead of chasing results directly, you focus on becoming the person capable of creating those results consistently. You start to see success as a system, not a single action, a system of thinking, believing, acting, learning, and improving, repeated over time. And once this system is in place, results are no longer random, they become predictable. You also begin to influence others, not by force, but by example, because people notice consistency, discipline, growth, and without saying much, you inspire change, you create impact, you become proof that transformation is possible. And the most powerful realization comes when you understand that everything you once wanted externally is now being built internally first: confidence, clarity, discipline, focus, resilience. And these internal assets create external results naturally, without forcing, without chasing. You stop looking for shortcuts, because you understand that shortcuts often delay real growth, and instead you commit to the process fully, trusting that every step, every challenge, every lesson is shaping you into someone stronger, smarter, more capable. And in the end, you realize that the journey itself has changed you more than the destination, that the person you became along the way is the real success, because with this mindset, with this discipline, with this awareness, you can create results again and again, in any area of your life. You are no longer waiting, no longer hoping, no longer doubting at the same level, because now you know, not just intellectually, but through experience, that your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions have the power to shape your entire reality. And once you truly accept this, there is no limit to what you can build. And at this level your awareness becomes sharper, you no longer move blindly through life, you begin to anticipate outcomes, to understand patterns, to see cause and effect in everything you do. And this awareness gives you an advantage that most people never develop, because while they react, you respond, while they hesitate, you decide, while they doubt, you move forward with calculated certainty. You start to notice that every successful outcome follows a structure, a sequence of thought, belief, and action repeated consistently. And once you understand this structure, you stop relying on motivation completely, because you now operate based on systems, and systems do not depend on how you feel, they depend on what you do, repeatedly, with discipline. You begin to build routines that support your growth, not random habits, but intentional ones, waking up with purpose, controlling your input, directing your focus, executing your priorities, reviewing your progress, and improving daily. And while this may seem simple, the power lies in repetition, because repetition creates mastery, and mastery creates results. You also develop the ability to stay calm under pressure, because you understand that pressure is part of expansion, that growth will always challenge your current limits, and instead of resisting it, you use it, you channel it, you turn it into energy that pushes you forward instead of holding you back. At this point, your mindset becomes resilient, not fragile. You no longer break under difficulties, you adapt, you adjust, you continue, because you have trained yourself to see beyond temporary discomfort, focusing instead on long-term outcomes. And this resilience becomes one of your greatest strengths. You also become more strategic, not just working hard, but working smart, analyzing what works, eliminating what doesn't, refining your approach. Because effort alone is not enough, direction matters, clarity matters, precision matters. And when combined with persistence, they create powerful results. You start to measure your progress, not emotionally, but logically, understanding that results take time, that consistency compounds, and that small improvements, repeated daily, create massive changes over time, and this removes frustration, replacing it with focus. You also begin to detach from comparison, because comparing your journey to others only creates distraction and doubt, and instead you focus on your own path, your own progress, your own growth, because real success is personal, not competitive. Your vision becomes clearer, stronger, more detailed, because you revisit it daily, you refine it, you align your actions with it, and this constant alignment keeps you on track even when distractions appear, because your direction is no longer vague. It is defined. You also learn to manage setbacks with intelligence, not emotion, because reacting emotionally often leads to poor decisions, but responding with clarity allows you to adjust and move forward efficiently, and this skill alone can save years of wasted effort. You begin to understand the importance of timing, not waiting for perfect timing, but recognizing opportunities when they appear, being prepared to act when the moment comes, because opportunity favors those who are ready, not those who hesitate. And as you continue building, your confidence transforms into certainty, not arrogance, but quiet certainty, the kind that does not need validation, the kind that comes from consistent action and proven results. And this certainty allows you to move forward even when others doubt. You also develop patience with intensity, a powerful combination, because you are patient enough to stay consistent, but intense enough to push forward daily, and this balance keeps you progressing without burning out. You start to see discipline not as effort, but as identity, something natural, something automatic, because it has been repeated so many times that it becomes part of who you are, and once discipline becomes identity, success becomes a byproduct. You also begin to value clarity over complexity, understanding that simple, focused actions executed consistently outperform complex plans that are never followed, and this simplicity allows you to stay effective without being overwhelmed. At this stage, you realize that your environment is no longer controlling you, you are controlling your environment, choosing what influences you, what surrounds you, what enters your mind, because you understand that control over input creates control over output. You also become more adaptable, because the world changes, circumstances shift, and rigid thinking limits growth, but flexible thinking allows you to evolve, to adjust, to continue progressing regardless of external conditions. You begin to trust the process deeply, not blindly, but based on experience, knowing that consistent effort aligned with clear thinking always produces results, even if they are delayed, and this trust removes anxiety, replacing it with focus. And as everything begins to align, your actions become more powerful, your decisions more precise, your results more consistent, because you are no longer acting randomly, you are acting intentionally, with purpose, with clarity, with discipline. You understand now that success is not something reserved for a few, it is a result of principles applied consistently, principles that anyone can learn, but few actually apply, because application requires commitment, and commitment requires discipline. You have stepped beyond that point, you are no longer just learning, you are doing, you are building, you are evolving. And this is where real transformation happens, not in theory, but in practice, not in ideas, but in execution. And the most powerful part is this: once you reach this level of awareness and control, you can never go back to the old way of thinking, because you have seen what is possible, you have experienced change, you have proven to yourself that transformation is real. From here, everything you build becomes intentional, everything you achieve becomes repeatable, and everything you are capable of expands continuously. Because growth does not stop, it evolves, and now you are part of that evolution, not as a spectator, but as a creator of your own reality. Clarity at this stage becomes your strongest weapon, because you no longer allow confusion to slow you down. You define your priorities with precision. You know exactly what matters and what does not, and this level of clarity removes hesitation, replacing it with direct action and focused execution. Your decisions become faster, sharper, more confident, because you are no longer trying to please everyone or consider every possible outcome. You act based on your vision, your goals, your direction, and this decisiveness creates momentum. Because speed combined with clarity produces results. You begin to notice that opportunities are no longer rare, they are everywhere, but only visible to those who are prepared, and preparation is not luck, it is daily discipline, daily focus, daily alignment with your purpose, because when your mind is trained, it recognizes value where others see nothing. Your communication improves, not only with others but with yourself, because you understand that the words you use shape your perception, and your perception shapes your reality. So you eliminate weak language, doubt-filled expressions, and replace them with certainty, direction, and intention. You start to think in terms of solutions, not problems, because problems are inevitable, but solutions are created, and this shift alone changes how you approach every situation. Instead of feeling stuck, you become resourceful. Instead of reacting emotionally, you respond strategically. Your standards continue to rise, and with them your tolerance for distraction decreases. You no longer waste time on things that do not contribute to your growth. You become selective, intentional, disciplined, because you understand that success requires focus, and focus requires sacrifice. You also develop a deeper level of patience, not passive waiting, but active patience, where you continue working, improving, refining, while trusting that results are being built beneath the surface, even when they are not yet visible. Your identity stabilizes at a higher level. You no longer question whether you are capable, you know you are, because you have built proof through action, through persistence, through consistency, and this self-trust becomes unshakable. You begin to lead your life with vision instead of reaction, planning ahead, thinking long-term, building strategically, because you understand that random effort leads to random results, but structured effort leads to predictable success. You also become more aware of leverage, understanding that not all actions are equal. Some actions produce far greater results than others, and learning to identify and focus on those high-impact actions accelerates your progress dramatically. Your mindset shifts from effort to effectiveness, from doing more to doing what matters most, and this efficiency allows you to grow faster without unnecessary stress or burnout. You learn to protect your progress, avoiding environments, conversations, and influences that pull you backward, because growth requires protection, not just effort, and maintaining the right environment becomes part of your strategy. You also develop emotional independence, no longer allowing external situations or people to control your internal state, because you understand that your state determines your actions, and your actions determine your results. Your confidence becomes quiet but powerful, not loud, not forced, but stable, grounded, built on real experience, and this type of confidence influences everything you do, how you speak, how you act, how you decide. You start to see time differently, not as something to spend, but as something to invest, and every action becomes a conscious choice, contributing either to your growth or to your stagnation, and you choose growth consistently. You refine your goals continuously, adjusting your strategy, improving your approach, because success is not rigid, it evolves, and those who adapt grow, while those who resist remain stuck. Your awareness of cause and effect deepens. You understand that every result has a source, and by controlling the source, your thoughts, your actions, your habits, you control the outcome, and this realization gives you full ownership over your life. You no longer wait for perfect conditions, because you understand they do not exist. Instead, you act in imperfect conditions, creating progress while others wait, and this alone gives you an advantage that compounds over time. You develop consistency at a level most people never reach, not occasional effort, but daily commitment, daily execution, daily progress, and this consistency becomes your greatest asset. You also begin to inspire yourself, no longer needing constant external motivation, because your vision, your progress, your growth become your fuel, and this internal motivation is far more powerful and sustainable. Your life starts reflecting your internal structure, organized, focused, intentional, because what is built inside always appears outside, and this alignment creates a sense of control and direction. You understand now that success is not about reaching a final destination, but about becoming the type of person who can create results repeatedly, consistently, in any environment, under any conditions. This realization changes everything, because once you become that person, there is no longer a question of if, only when, and that certainty removes doubt, removes hesitation, and replaces it with continuous forward movement. Everything you do now carries intention, purpose, and direction, because you are no longer drifting, you are creating, consciously, deliberately, powerfully shaping your reality through disciplined thought and consistent action. You begin to understand that the subconscious mind becomes the bridge between thought and reality, because whatever you impress upon it repeatedly, with emotion and conviction, it accepts as truth and begins to act upon without questioning. And this is why emotional intensity matters, because emotion accelerates belief, and belief directs action. You start using this consciously, not randomly, feeding your mind with clear statements of what you want, repeating them daily, visualizing them as already achieved, not as distant dreams but as present realities. Because the subconscious does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined, it responds to what is impressed upon it with feeling. You realize that faith is not blind hope, it is a mental state created through repetition and self-suggestion, something you build intentionally, by reinforcing certainty until doubt loses its power. And once faith is established, hesitation disappears, because your actions are no longer uncertain, they are aligned with belief. You begin to apply auto-suggestion daily, speaking your goals, writing them, repeating them with clarity and emotion, because words alone are not enough, they must carry meaning, they must carry conviction, and through repetition they begin to shape your internal programming. You also recognize the power of specialized knowledge, understanding that general knowledge is not enough to create results, but focused, applied knowledge in a specific area becomes valuable, and you begin to seek it actively, to learn, to grow, to refine your skills, because knowledge combined with action creates opportunity. Imagination becomes a tool you use intentionally, not passively. You design plans, you create solutions, you see possibilities where others see limitations, and this creative force allows you to build paths that did not exist before. You start organizing your plans, not leaving success to chance, but creating structured steps, testing, adjusting, improving, because success is not random, it is organized effort directed toward a clear objective. And flexibility becomes part of your strategy, because not every plan works immediately, but persistence ensures that a working plan is eventually found. Decision becomes faster and more definite, you no longer allow doubt to delay you, because indecision weakens belief, and belief is the foundation of action, so you choose quickly, act decisively, and adjust as needed, maintaining momentum at all times. Persistence deepens, not just as effort, but as commitment, because you now understand that temporary defeat is not failure, it is feedback, a signal to adjust your approach, to refine your strategy, and continue forward without losing focus. You also begin to understand the importance of aligning with others, because no one achieves success entirely alone, and surrounding yourself with people who think differently, who challenge you, who support growth, creates a powerful environment where ideas expand and opportunities multiply. You become more selective with influence, protecting your mind from negativity, from doubt, from limiting beliefs of others, because your mental environment must support your vision, not weaken it. And this awareness allows you to maintain clarity even when external conditions are uncertain. You also gain control over your fears, recognizing them clearly: fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown, and instead of allowing them to operate unconsciously, you confront them, analyze them, and reduce their power through understanding and action. Your thinking becomes more organized, more structured, because random thoughts create random results, but directed thinking creates direction in life, and this control over thought is one of the most powerful skills you develop. You start to see that success requires harmony between different parts of your mind: conscious thought, subconscious programming, emotional control, and consistent action, and when these elements align, results accelerate naturally. You also understand that energy, especially emotional and mental energy, can be redirected, transformed into focus, into creativity, into drive, instead of being wasted on distractions or negativity, and this transformation becomes a powerful source of momentum. Your intuition becomes stronger, not as something mysterious, but as a result of accumulated experience, knowledge, and subconscious processing, guiding you toward better decisions, better opportunities, better outcomes. You begin to trust this internal guidance more, combining it with logic and action, creating a balanced approach where instinct and reasoning work together instead of against each other. You also recognize that habits are the physical expression of your mental programming, and by changing your thoughts, you change your habits, and by changing your habits, you change your results, because consistency in action creates consistency in outcome. You become aware that wealth, in any form, begins as a thought, then becomes belief, then becomes action, and finally becomes reality, and skipping any step weakens the process, but following it completely creates powerful results. You understand now that there is no shortcut to this process, but there is a clear path, a path built on desire, belief, persistence, organized planning, continuous learning, and disciplined action, repeated daily. You also begin to see that failure only exists when you stop, because as long as you continue, adjust, and learn, you are still in the process of building, still moving forward, still progressing toward your goal. Your mindset shifts completely from hoping for success to expecting it, not with arrogance, but with certainty built through understanding and application of these principles. And at this point, success is no longer a distant idea, it becomes a direction you are already moving in, step by step, thought by thought, action by action, building a reality that once existed only in your mind but is now becoming visible in your life. You begin to see more clearly the role of the subconscious as a constant working force, active day and night, influenced by everything you allow into your mind, and you understand that if you do not consciously direct it, it will be shaped by default by fear, doubt, and external opinions, which is why discipline in thinking becomes essential, not optional. You start to guard your thoughts with intention, filtering what you accept and what you reject, because every repeated idea becomes a seed, and every seed grows if it is not removed, and over time those seeds become your habits, your actions, your results, and ultimately your entire life. You also understand that desire must be backed by a clear plan, even if the plan is imperfect, because action refines the plan, not the other way around, and waiting for perfect clarity only delays progress, while movement creates clarity through experience. You begin to act immediately on ideas, even in small ways, because you realize that delay weakens energy, while action strengthens it, and each step forward builds momentum that makes the next step easier. You also start to see the power of definiteness of purpose, because when your goal is clear and specific, your mind aligns with it automatically, filtering distractions, organizing thoughts, and directing effort toward achieving it. Your focus sharpens, because you no longer chase multiple directions at once, you concentrate your energy on one main objective, understanding that scattered effort produces weak results, but concentrated effort produces power. You develop the habit of reviewing your goals daily, reminding yourself of what you are building, reinforcing your commitment, strengthening your belief, because repetition keeps your mind aligned and prevents distraction from taking control. You begin to notice that opportunities often appear disguised as challenges, and those who are prepared recognize them, while others ignore them, and this awareness allows you to turn situations that seem negative into stepping stones toward progress. You also understand that criticism, whether from others or from yourself, can either weaken you or strengthen you depending on how you interpret it, and instead of allowing it to stop you, you extract value from it, using it to improve without losing confidence. You become more emotionally disciplined, refusing to allow temporary feelings to dictate permanent decisions, because you understand that emotions fluctuate, but your purpose remains constant, and aligning with purpose over emotion creates stability. You also recognize that wealth consciousness must replace poverty consciousness, not only in money, but in thinking, because scarcity limits action, while abundance expands possibility, and this shift changes how you see opportunities, risks, and growth. You begin to think in terms of value creation, understanding that the more value you provide, the more results you receive, and instead of focusing only on what you gain, you focus on what you can contribute, because contribution attracts reward. You also develop the ability to remain focused over long periods of time, not just in short bursts, because real success requires sustained effort, not temporary motivation, and this endurance becomes a defining factor in your progress. You understand that procrastination is often a result of fear or lack of clarity, and instead of accepting it, you address its source either by clarifying your next step or by acting despite discomfort, breaking the cycle of delay. You begin to see that every decision either moves you closer to your goal or further away from it, and this awareness makes you more intentional with your choices, more focused on alignment, more disciplined in execution. You also start to trust the accumulation of effort, knowing that even when results are not visible immediately, progress is happening beneath the surface, building slowly but steadily until it becomes undeniable. You realize that the mind thrives on direction, and without it, it drifts, but with clear direction, it becomes a powerful instrument capable of solving problems, creating ideas, and driving results. You also understand that self-confidence is not something you wait to feel, it is something you build through repeated action, through keeping promises to yourself, through proving your capability over time. You begin to act with certainty even before you feel fully ready, because you understand that readiness is often created through action, not before it, and this willingness to move forward despite uncertainty accelerates your growth. You also recognize that every successful person has faced doubt, fear, and uncertainty, but the difference lies in their response. They continue, they adapt, they persist, and this persistence becomes the foundation of their success. You start to see your journey as a process of constant improvement, not perfection, focusing on getting better each day instead of expecting immediate results, and this mindset removes pressure while maintaining progress. You also understand that your environment must evolve with you, because growth requires support, and if your surroundings do not align with your direction, they will slow you down, so you become intentional about where you invest your time and energy. You begin to experience a deeper sense of control, not over everything externally, but over your internal state, your thoughts, your actions, your reactions, and this internal control creates external stability. You also realize that success is built through repeated alignment, aligning your thoughts with your goals, your actions with your plans, your habits with your vision, and maintaining this alignment daily. You understand now that nothing changes until you change, and once you change, everything begins to follow, not instantly, but consistently, as long as you remain committed to the process. Your mindset becomes your greatest asset, your discipline your strongest tool, and your persistence your driving force, creating a system that continuously moves you forward regardless of obstacles or delays. And through this process, you no longer depend on external circumstances to determine your results, because you have built the internal structure required to create those results yourself, repeatedly, intentionally, and without limit. You begin to integrate all these principles into one unified way of thinking, no longer seeing them as separate ideas but as parts of a single system that governs results, a system where desire defines direction, belief fuels action, persistence sustains movement, and organized effort produces outcomes, and once this system becomes natural, your progress accelerates without force. You understand now that hesitation is one of the greatest enemies of success, because every moment of doubt weakens momentum, and every delay creates distance between you and your goal, so you train yourself to act with certainty, to trust your decisions, to move forward even when the full path is not visible. You begin to notice that your mind starts offering solutions more quickly, ideas appear faster, connections form easier, because you have conditioned your thinking toward creation instead of limitation, and this mental efficiency becomes a powerful advantage. You also recognize that success requires emotional stability, because extreme highs and lows disrupt consistency, and consistency is what builds results, so you learn to remain grounded, focused, steady, regardless of temporary outcomes, maintaining direction even when emotions fluctuate. You start to eliminate unnecessary complexity from your life, simplifying your goals, your actions, your routines, because simplicity increases clarity, and clarity increases execution, and execution is what ultimately creates results. You understand that repetition is not boring, it is necessary, because mastery is built through repetition, and those who are willing to repeat what works eventually outperform those who constantly change direction without consistency. You begin to respect the process deeply, not trying to rush it, not trying to skip steps, because you understand that every stage has a purpose, every challenge builds strength, every delay tests commitment, and overcoming these creates resilience. You also become more aware of your internal standards, raising them continuously, because what you tolerate defines your results, and higher standards naturally lead to higher performance, higher discipline, and better outcomes. You start to measure success differently, not only by external results but by internal growth, by how much stronger, more disciplined, more focused you have become, because these qualities ensure that results will follow consistently. You also recognize that fear loses its power when faced directly, and instead of avoiding difficult situations, you move toward them, understanding that growth exists where discomfort begins, and this willingness to confront challenges expands your capabilities. You begin to align your daily actions more precisely with your long-term vision, eliminating distractions that do not serve your purpose, focusing only on what moves you forward, and this alignment creates efficiency and momentum. You also develop a stronger sense of urgency, not panic, but awareness that time is limited and valuable, and using it intentionally becomes a priority, because every day contributes to your future outcome. You start to see that your habits define your identity, and your identity defines your results, so you focus on building habits that support the person you are becoming, reinforcing your transformation daily through action. You understand that success is not a single breakthrough moment, but a series of small wins accumulated over time, each step building on the previous one, creating progress that becomes undeniable. You also begin to notice that your confidence is no longer dependent on external validation, because it is built internally through consistent action, through discipline, through proof of your own capability. You become more adaptable, adjusting your approach when necessary without losing focus on your goal, understanding that flexibility in method combined with firmness in purpose creates powerful results. You also realize that your thinking must remain proactive, not reactive, always looking ahead, anticipating challenges, preparing solutions, because preparation reduces uncertainty and increases confidence. You start to operate with greater precision, knowing exactly what you need to do and executing it without unnecessary delay, because clarity removes hesitation and hesitation slows progress. You also develop the ability to recover quickly from setbacks, not allowing them to affect your long-term direction, because you understand that temporary difficulties are part of the process, not a reason to stop. You begin to see your journey as continuous, without a final endpoint, because growth never truly ends. And each level reached opens the door to a new level, a new challenge, a new opportunity to evolve. You also understand that your mindset must be maintained daily, not once, not occasionally, but consistently, because the mind can easily drift back into old patterns if not directed intentionally. You start to protect your progress more carefully, avoiding influences that weaken your focus, surrounding yourself with environments that support your growth, because environment plays a crucial role in maintaining direction. You also become more aware of the impact of your actions on others, understanding that success creates influence, and influence carries responsibility, and using it wisely becomes part of your growth. You realize that everything you have built is the result of intentional thinking, disciplined action, and persistent effort, and this realization reinforces your confidence in the process. You no longer question whether success is possible, because you have experienced the principles in action, you have seen the results begin to form, and this creates certainty that drives you forward even more. You understand that your future is not something you wait for, it is something you create daily through your thoughts, your decisions, your actions, and maintaining control over these elements ensures continuous progress. You become fully aligned with your purpose, your vision, your direction, moving forward with clarity, confidence, and consistency, building a life that reflects your internal structure and disciplined mindset. You begin to recognize that the mind operates on what it is fed most frequently, and whatever dominates your thinking eventually becomes your reality, which is why controlling your dominant thoughts becomes one of the most critical disciplines you develop, because dominance creates direction, and direction creates results. You understand that vague thinking leads to vague outcomes, while precise thinking leads to precise results, and this is why you train your mind to be exact, to define clearly what you want, how you will achieve it, and what you are willing to give in return, because nothing of value comes without exchange, and understanding this principle removes unrealistic expectations and replaces them with responsibility. You begin to apply the principle of exchange consciously, knowing that to receive something greater, you must first become something greater, you must develop skills, discipline, persistence, and value, because success responds to what you offer, not to what you wish for. You also realize that your thoughts must be backed by action immediately, because thoughts without action lose power, and action without thought lacks direction, but when both are aligned, they create momentum that becomes difficult to stop. You start to eliminate excuses completely, recognizing them for what they are, delays disguised as reasons, and once you remove them, you are left with only one option: to act, to move, to execute, because progress demands responsibility. You also become more aware of the influence of repetition, understanding that whatever you repeat becomes automatic, and whatever becomes automatic defines your behavior, and this is why you repeat what strengthens you, not what weakens you. You begin to build internal discipline at a deeper level, not relying on external pressure, not waiting for deadlines or urgency, but creating your own structure, your own expectations, your own standards, and this independence becomes powerful. You understand that failure only carries meaning if you assign it meaning, and instead of labeling it negatively, you use it as instruction, extracting lessons, adjusting your strategy, and continuing forward without emotional resistance. You also develop the ability to stay focused on your goal despite temporary distractions, because distractions will always exist, but focus must be chosen, intentionally, repeatedly, and this choice determines your level of progress. You begin to think long-term consistently, no longer seeking quick results at the expense of lasting success, because you understand that building something meaningful requires time, and time invested correctly always produces results. You also recognize that your mindset must remain dominant over your environment, not the other way around, because if your environment controls your thinking, your progress becomes unstable, but if your thinking controls your environment, your progress becomes consistent. You start to act with purpose in everything you do, no longer moving randomly, no longer wasting energy on actions that do not align with your vision, because alignment creates efficiency, and efficiency creates results. You also understand that confidence grows through action, not through waiting, and every step forward, no matter how small, reinforces your belief in yourself, creating a cycle where action builds confidence and confidence fuels more action. You begin to operate with a higher level of awareness in your decisions, considering not only immediate results but long-term impact, because true success is built on decisions that support growth over time, not temporary satisfaction. You also realize that your internal state must be controlled deliberately, because your state determines your performance, and if you allow external factors to control your state, your performance becomes inconsistent. You start to build mental resilience by exposing yourself to challenges intentionally, not avoiding them, because challenges strengthen your thinking, your discipline, your adaptability, and this strength becomes essential as you grow. You also understand that persistence is not simply continuing blindly, but continuing intelligently, adjusting your approach, refining your methods, improving your execution, while maintaining your direction. You begin to notice that your thinking becomes faster, clearer, more solution-oriented, because you have trained it through repetition, through discipline, through intentional focus, and this mental clarity accelerates everything you do. You also develop a deeper trust in the process, knowing that results are not always immediate, but they are always building when action is consistent and aligned, and this trust removes anxiety, replacing it with focus. You start to detach from outcomes emotionally, focusing instead on execution, because outcomes are influenced by many factors, but execution is within your control, and controlling what you can creates stability. You also understand that your growth requires continuous input, continuous learning, continuous refinement, because staying static leads to stagnation, while constant improvement leads to expansion. You begin to see yourself differently, not as someone trying to succeed, but as someone who is already building success, step by step, action by action, reinforcing your identity through consistent behavior. You also recognize that your journey is unique, and comparing it to others only creates distraction, so you focus entirely on your own progress, your own path, your own development. You understand now that the power lies in consistency, not intensity, because consistent action over time produces results that intensity alone cannot sustain, and this understanding keeps you grounded and focused. You begin to operate with quiet determination, not needing to announce your goals, not seeking validation, but working consistently, building steadily, progressing continuously. You also realize that success is not something you reach and stop, it is something you maintain, something you continue building, because growth is ongoing, and stopping leads to decline. You understand that your mind must remain disciplined, directed, and focused daily, because without this control, old patterns can return, and maintaining control ensures continued progress. You begin to see clearly that everything you have achieved and everything you will achieve comes from the same source, your thinking, your belief, your action, aligned and repeated over time. And this realization removes all doubt, because once you understand the source, you understand the process, and once you understand the process, you can apply it continuously, building results again and again, without limitation. You begin to understand more deeply that every achievement starts with a decision that is backed by commitment, not temporary excitement, but a firm internal agreement that no matter what happens, you will continue moving toward your goal, adjusting your path but never abandoning your direction. You realize that the difference between those who succeed and those who remain in the same place lies in their ability to hold that decision under pressure, when results are slow, when obstacles appear, when doubt tries to return. And in those moments your commitment becomes your greatest asset. You start to train your mind to remain fixed on your objective, not allowing temporary conditions to influence your long-term vision, because you understand that conditions change, but direction must remain stable, and this stability creates consistency in your actions. You also begin to notice that your subconscious starts working more actively in your favor, bringing ideas, solutions, and opportunities seemingly out of nowhere, but in reality, it is the result of focused thinking and repeated direction, because the mind responds to clarity and persistence. You understand that clarity of purpose activates deeper levels of thinking, allowing you to solve problems faster, to see connections more easily, to act with more confidence, and this mental activation becomes a powerful advantage. You begin to eliminate fear not by avoiding it, but by replacing it with knowledge and action, because uncertainty creates fear, but understanding and movement reduce it, and this shift allows you to move forward with greater certainty. You also recognize that your environment must support your mental direction, and if it does not, you either change it or learn to rise above it, because staying in environments that contradict your goals creates internal conflict that slows progress. You start to take full ownership of your results, not blaming external factors, not waiting for conditions to improve, but focusing entirely on what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, your habits, because control creates power. You also understand that persistence requires energy, and energy must be managed, protected, and directed, because without it, even strong intentions weaken over time. So you become more conscious of how you maintain your physical and mental state. You begin to align your daily routine with your long-term vision more strictly, eliminating actions that do not contribute to your goal, focusing only on what builds progress, because alignment increases efficiency and reduces wasted effort. You also realize that success requires sacrifice, not necessarily of everything, but of distractions, comfort, and habits that do not serve your growth, and accepting this removes internal resistance. You start to build stronger habits by linking them to your purpose, because when actions are connected to something meaningful, they become easier to maintain, and consistency becomes natural instead of forced. You understand that your thinking must remain constructive at all times, because negative thinking, even in small amounts, can disrupt progress if repeated, and maintaining control over your thoughts ensures stability. You also begin to recognize the importance of emotional balance, not suppressing emotions, but managing them, using them as signals rather than allowing them to control your actions. You start to think in terms of cause and effect more consistently, understanding that every action produces a result, and by controlling your actions, you control your outcomes, and this awareness strengthens your discipline. You also realize that success requires continuous effort, not temporary bursts, and building the ability to work steadily over time becomes one of your greatest strengths. You begin to value progress over perfection, understanding that waiting for perfect execution delays results, while consistent imperfect action creates improvement and eventually leads to mastery. You also develop a stronger sense of responsibility toward your own growth, no longer expecting others to guide you, motivate you, or create opportunities for you, because you understand that your progress depends on your own actions. You start to see that the mind becomes stronger with use, and by consistently challenging it, directing it, and disciplining it, you expand your ability to think, to act, and to create results. You also recognize that belief must be maintained daily, not assumed, because without reinforcement, doubt can return, and maintaining belief ensures continued alignment with your goal. You begin to see success as a natural outcome of consistent application of these principles, not as something extraordinary, but as something achievable through disciplined thinking and action. You also understand that setbacks are temporary, and as long as you continue adjusting and moving forward, they do not define your journey, but instead strengthen it. You start to experience a deeper level of focus, where distractions lose their influence, and your attention remains directed toward what matters most, and this focus accelerates your progress significantly. You also realize that your identity continues to evolve, and with each step forward, you become more aligned with the person capable of achieving your goals, and this alignment makes success feel natural. You understand now that your thoughts are not just influencing your life, they are creating it continuously, and maintaining control over them ensures that you continue building the reality you desire. You begin to operate with certainty, not because you know every detail, but because you trust the process, the principles, and your ability to apply them consistently. And through this continuous alignment of thought, belief, and action, you create momentum that carries you forward, building results, strengthening confidence, and expanding your potential without limit. You begin to realize that the most powerful force working in your favor is not something external, but the consistency of your internal alignment, because when your thoughts, emotions, and actions operate in harmony, resistance decreases and execution becomes natural, almost automatic, driven by clarity instead of confusion. You understand that many people never reach this level because they constantly shift direction, changing goals, doubting their path, reacting to circumstances, and this inconsistency weakens their results, but you remain fixed, not rigid in method, but unwavering in purpose, and this difference creates long-term success. You start to see the importance of controlling your attention with precision, because attention determines what grows in your mind, and what grows in your mind eventually manifests in your life, so you choose carefully what you focus on, eliminating unnecessary noise and reinforcing what supports your vision. You also recognize that discipline becomes easier when it is connected to identity, because once you see yourself as a disciplined person, your actions follow naturally, and this identity-based approach removes the need for constant effort, replacing it with consistency. You begin to operate with higher levels of awareness in every area of your life, noticing patterns, understanding behaviors, identifying opportunities faster, because your thinking has been trained to search for solutions instead of limitations. You understand that fear loses control when faced repeatedly, and by exposing yourself to discomfort consistently, you reduce its influence, expanding your comfort zone and increasing your ability to act under pressure. You also realize that success requires the ability to remain focused even when results are delayed, because delayed results often cause people to lose motivation, but you have learned to trust the process, continuing forward with discipline and patience. You start to refine your thinking continuously, removing unnecessary doubts, strengthening your beliefs, reinforcing your goals, because your mind must be maintained just like any other system, and maintenance ensures performance. You also begin to see that every successful outcome is the result of multiple aligned actions, not one single moment, and understanding this removes unrealistic expectations, replacing them with a commitment to consistent effort. You develop a stronger sense of control over your habits, understanding that habits are built intentionally through repetition, and by choosing the right habits, you create automatic behaviors that support your growth. You also understand that your environment must reflect your goals, because an environment that contradicts your vision creates resistance, and by aligning your surroundings, you support your progress naturally. You begin to think more strategically, not only about what to do, but when and how to do it, because timing, execution, and precision all play a role in creating results. You also realize that persistence is strengthened by purpose, and when your goal is meaningful, when it is connected to something deeper, your ability to continue increases significantly, because purpose fuels discipline. You start to detach from short-term discomfort, understanding that temporary difficulty is the price of long-term success, and accepting this removes resistance, allowing you to move forward with greater ease. You also recognize that growth requires continuous learning, and you actively seek knowledge, not passively, but with intention, applying what you learn immediately to improve your results. You begin to see that your thinking becomes more efficient, more focused, more direct, because you have eliminated unnecessary complexity and trained your mind to operate with clarity. You also understand that success requires emotional control, and by maintaining stability in your emotions, you maintain consistency in your actions, which leads to consistent results. You start to operate with greater confidence in your decisions, not because you always know the outcome, but because you trust your ability to handle whatever happens, and this confidence allows you to move forward without hesitation. You also realize that your journey is built on daily choices, not occasional effort, and by making the right choices consistently, you create results that appear significant over time. You begin to recognize that your potential is not fixed. It expands as you grow, as you learn, as you act, and this realization removes limitations, opening new possibilities. You also understand that success is not about avoiding failure, but about using it as part of the process, learning from it, adjusting, and continuing forward without losing direction. You start to experience a deeper sense of control over your life, because you have taken ownership of your thinking, your actions, your habits, and this ownership creates stability and confidence. You also recognize that your results are a reflection of your internal state, and by improving your thinking, you improve your outcomes, because the two are directly connected. You begin to operate with a long-term perspective consistently, focusing on building something sustainable, something valuable, something that continues to grow over time. You also understand that discipline becomes freedom, because it allows you to control your actions, your time, your direction, instead of being controlled by external circumstances. You realize that everything you have built so far is the result of applying these principles consistently, and this realization strengthens your belief in the process. You begin to see clearly that success is not something distant, but something you are already creating, step by step, action by action, through disciplined thinking and consistent execution. And at this point, your path becomes clear, not because there are no challenges, but because you have developed the mindset, the discipline, and the persistence required to overcome them and continue moving forward with certainty. You begin to understand that at the highest level, success is a result of mastering the unseen forces that most people ignore: the control of thought, the direction of belief, the discipline of emotion, and the persistence of action, because what is invisible always precedes what becomes visible. You recognize that the mind must be given clear instructions continuously, because without direction it defaults to habit, and habits formed without awareness often lead to limitation. So you take control, consciously directing your thinking toward your definite purpose every single day. You also realize that the strength of your belief determines the strength of your action, and the strength of your action determines the quality of your results, which is why belief must be reinforced constantly, through repetition, through visualization, through action that confirms what you are building internally. You begin to see that doubt is not something to eliminate completely, but something to control, because doubt may appear, but it does not have to dominate, and by choosing which thoughts you accept, you maintain authority over your mind. You also understand that the subconscious mind responds best to clarity and emotion combined, and by repeatedly visualizing your goal with strong feeling, you create a powerful internal image that guides your behavior without conscious effort. You start to operate with a deeper level of intention, not only in your actions but in your thinking, because random thoughts create random outcomes, but directed thinking creates direction in life, and this control becomes a major advantage. You recognize that your environment must support your internal direction, and if it does not, you either adapt it or rise above it, because allowing external influences to weaken your mindset creates inconsistency. You also understand that success requires organized effort, not scattered action, and by structuring your approach, defining your steps, and executing them consistently, you create predictable progress. You begin to apply persistence with intelligence, not repeating the same actions without adjustment, but learning, refining, improving, while maintaining your commitment to the goal. You also realize that fear loses power when faced repeatedly, and by acting despite uncertainty, you expand your capacity to handle challenges, making future actions easier and more natural. You start to develop a stronger sense of inner control, because you understand that while you cannot control everything externally, you can control your response, your thinking, your actions, and this control creates stability. You also begin to see that time is one of your most valuable assets, and using it intentionally becomes a priority, because every moment invested correctly contributes to your future results. You recognize that success is built on daily discipline, not occasional effort, and by committing to consistent action, you create results that compound over time. You also understand that your thinking must remain positive, not in a superficial way, but in a constructive way, focused on solutions, growth, and progress, because negative thinking disrupts alignment and slows results. You begin to trust your ability to adapt, knowing that challenges will appear, but your capacity to respond effectively will continue to grow as you apply these principles. You also realize that your identity is shaped by your repeated actions, and by choosing actions that align with your goals, you reinforce the identity of someone who succeeds. You start to eliminate distractions more aggressively, understanding that focus is a limited resource, and protecting it ensures that your energy is directed toward what matters most. You also recognize that success requires patience, not passive waiting, but active persistence, continuing to work, improve, and refine while trusting that results are building. You begin to see that every action you take either strengthens or weakens your progress, and this awareness makes you more intentional, more disciplined, more focused. You also understand that your growth depends on continuous learning, continuous improvement, continuous application, because staying static leads to stagnation. You start to operate with greater confidence, not because everything is certain, but because you trust the process and your ability to follow it consistently. You also realize that setbacks are temporary, and as long as you continue moving forward, adjusting your approach, they do not define your outcome. You begin to experience a deeper sense of purpose, because your actions are aligned with your vision, and this alignment creates motivation that is sustainable and powerful. You also understand that success is not something you wait for, but something you build daily, through your thoughts, your decisions, your actions. You recognize that your mind is the starting point of everything, and by mastering it, you gain control over your direction, your results, your future. You begin to see clearly that there are no limits other than those you accept, and by removing limiting beliefs, you expand your possibilities continuously. You also realize that the process never truly ends, because growth continues as long as you continue to think, act, and improve intentionally. And with this understanding, you move forward with certainty, discipline, and clarity, knowing that every step you take is building the life you once imagined, turning thought into reality through consistent and directed action. You reach a point where everything becomes structured, deliberate, and precise, where your thinking is no longer influenced by randomness but guided by a definite purpose, where desire is no longer a fleeting emotion but a controlled force directed toward a clear objective, supported by belief, reinforced through repetition, and executed through organized action. You understand now that the principles you apply are not temporary strategies but permanent laws of achievement, that desire must be definite, that faith must be cultivated, that autosuggestion must be practiced, that knowledge must be specialized, that imagination must be used constructively, that planning must be organized, that decisions must be firm, and that persistence must be unwavering. You recognize that your subconscious mind has become an ally, not a barrier, responding to the instructions you give it daily, transforming repeated thoughts into automatic behavior, guiding your actions toward your objective without hesitation, because you have conditioned it with clarity, emotion, and consistency. You also understand that your environment, your associations, your influences, all play a critical role, and by surrounding yourself with alignment, discipline, and purpose, you strengthen your mental position, creating conditions that support your growth instead of weakening it. You begin to see that fear, once a limiting force, has been reduced through understanding and action, that hesitation has been replaced by decision, that doubt has been replaced by belief, and that uncertainty has been replaced by controlled thinking and disciplined execution. You operate now with a level of mental organization that allows you to convert ideas into plans, plans into action, and action into results, because you have accepted the principle that no plan is perfect, but every plan becomes effective when refined through persistence. You also understand that success requires a balanced integration of all these elements, that no single principle works in isolation, but when combined, they create a powerful system that produces results consistently, predictably, and repeatedly. You recognize that wealth, in its broadest sense, is the outcome of a well-directed mind, a mind that has been trained to focus, to believe, to act, and to persist, and that this process can be applied in any area of life where results are desired. You have developed the ability to maintain emotional control, to act independently of temporary feelings, to remain aligned with your purpose even under pressure, because you understand that emotional discipline supports consistent action. You see clearly that time, once perceived as something to pass, has become a resource to invest, and every action you take is measured against its contribution to your definite purpose, ensuring that your effort is always directed and productive. You understand that setbacks are not signs of failure but part of the process, that every temporary defeat carries with it the seed of an equivalent advantage, and by analyzing, adjusting, and continuing, you convert every obstacle into progress. You have replaced vague thinking with precision, indecision with clarity, hesitation with action, and inconsistency with discipline, creating a foundation that supports continuous growth and achievement. You recognize that your identity has shifted, that you no longer operate from uncertainty but from structured thinking, from deliberate action, from controlled belief, and this identity supports your ability to create results repeatedly. You understand that the process of achievement is ongoing, that each goal reached becomes a foundation for the next, and that growth continues as long as these principles are applied consistently. You maintain your mental discipline daily, reinforcing your purpose, strengthening your belief, directing your thoughts, because you understand that the mind must be guided continuously to remain effective. You operate now with a clear awareness of cause and effect, knowing that every result originates from thought, that every outcome is preceded by belief, that every success is built through action, and that controlling these elements ensures predictable results. You recognize that true power lies in self-mastery, in the ability to direct your thinking, control your actions, and maintain alignment with your purpose regardless of external conditions. You understand that success is not an accident, not a matter of chance, but the result of applying definite principles with discipline, persistence, and clarity. You continue to refine your approach, to improve your thinking, to strengthen your habits, because you understand that growth requires continuous development, not temporary effort. You operate with confidence grounded in understanding, not assumption, knowing that the principles you apply produce results when executed consistently. You maintain focus, eliminate distraction, and protect your mental environment, ensuring that your thinking remains aligned with your objective. You act with purpose, think with clarity, and persist with discipline, because you understand that these elements combined create results that are both measurable and sustainable. You recognize that the transformation you have achieved is not external but internal, and that this internal change is what allows you to produce external results consistently. You understand that the same process can be repeated, applied, and expanded, creating results in any area where these principles are used with precision and commitment. You continue forward with certainty, knowing that your direction is clear, your thinking is controlled, and your actions are aligned. You build, you refine, you execute, and you persist, because you understand that success is created, not discovered, and that the power to create it has always been within your control. You reach the stage where thinking itself becomes intentional, where you no longer allow thoughts to appear without direction, but you consciously choose what dominates your mind, because you understand that dominant thoughts create dominant outcomes, and outcomes repeated over time define your entire life. You operate now with definiteness of purpose at all times. Your goal is not abstract, not general, but exact, measurable, emotionally connected, something your mind can focus on with full intensity, because without definiteness there is no direction, and without direction there is no result. You understand that faith must be continuously reinforced, not assumed, and you maintain it through repetition, through visualization, through evidence created by your own action, because faith grows stronger when supported by experience, and experience comes from consistent execution. You apply autosuggestion not as a concept but as a daily discipline, controlling the language you use internally, directing your subconscious with precision, repeating your purpose, your goals, your beliefs until they become automatic, until they influence your actions without resistance. You recognize that specialized knowledge gives you advantage, but only when applied, and you continuously refine your understanding, converting knowledge into action, action into experience, and experience into improved strategy. You use imagination as a controlled force, creating plans, designing solutions, building possibilities, not waiting for ideas to appear randomly, but generating them through focused thinking aligned with your objective. You organize your plans carefully, knowing that success requires structure, but you also remain flexible, adjusting when necessary, because no plan is final, it evolves through action, through feedback, through persistence. You make decisions quickly and firmly, understanding that indecision weakens momentum, and momentum is essential for progress, so you choose, act, and refine instead of delaying and overanalyzing. You apply persistence as a principle, not as a reaction, continuing forward regardless of temporary setbacks, because you understand that persistence combined with intelligent adjustment always produces results. You also understand the importance of alignment with others, surrounding yourself with individuals who support growth, challenge your thinking, and reinforce your direction, because environment influences thinking, and thinking influences results. You recognize and control the major fears, not by ignoring them, but by understanding them, analyzing them, and reducing their influence through action, because fear loses power when faced consistently. You maintain control over your emotional state, not allowing temporary feelings to disrupt long-term direction, because emotional discipline supports consistency, and consistency produces results. You operate now with a clear understanding that your subconscious mind executes what you repeatedly impress upon it, and by controlling input, controlling repetition, and controlling emotional intensity, you control output. You understand that success is not a single action but a coordinated system of thought, belief, and behavior, applied consistently over time, and you operate within this system deliberately. You maintain daily alignment, reinforcing your purpose, directing your thinking, executing your plan, reviewing your progress, improving your approach, because consistency is the foundation of achievement. You recognize that time multiplies the effect of consistent action, that what you do daily becomes what you achieve long-term, and this awareness strengthens your discipline. You eliminate distractions with precision, understanding that focus is required for depth, and depth is required for mastery, and mastery produces exceptional results. You operate with increasing confidence, not based on assumption but based on repeated proof, because each action completed strengthens your belief in your ability to continue. You understand that success requires giving value, and you focus on creating, contributing, and improving, knowing that results follow value naturally. You maintain patience without losing intensity, continuing to act, refine, and improve while trusting that results are building through consistent application of these principles. You recognize that your identity has fully aligned with your purpose, that you think, act, and respond as someone who creates results, not someone who hopes for them. You understand that this process is repeatable, scalable, and applicable to any area of life, because the principles remain constant regardless of the goal. You operate now with clarity, discipline, persistence, and control, maintaining alignment between thought, belief, and action at all times. You build continuously, refine consistently, and execute with precision, because you understand that success is not, it is a constructed result of controlled thinking and disciplined action. You no longer question whether you can achieve your goals, because you understand the process, you apply the process, and through application, you create the result. You move forward with certainty, structure, and intention, knowing that every thought you control, every action you take, and every decision you make is shaping your reality in real time. You do not wait, you do not hesitate, you do not depend on external conditions, you think, you decide, you act, you persist, and through this continuous alignment, you create a life that reflects exactly what you have built in your mind. At this level, the structure becomes more refined, more disciplined, and more aligned with the original principles, where thinking is no longer passive but directed with precision, where every idea is examined, shaped, and reinforced until it becomes a force capable of producing measurable results. Definiteness of purpose stands at the center of everything, not as a vague intention but as a clearly defined objective supported by a specific plan and a clear understanding of what must be given in return. Because nothing is gained without equivalent value, and this law removes illusion and replaces it with responsibility. Desire evolves into a controlled energy, no longer emotional fluctuation but a constant driving force, maintained daily, reinforced through repetition, strengthened through visualization, and sustained through disciplined action. Because only a persistent desire transforms into achievement. Faith is no longer abstract, it becomes a trained mental state, developed through autosuggestion, reinforced through consistent thought, and strengthened through action, until belief reaches a level where doubt loses influence and execution becomes natural. The subconscious mind operates continuously, receiving impressions, organizing them, and influencing behavior accordingly, and once properly directed, it begins to support the objective by generating ideas, solutions, and impulses aligned with the defined goal. Autosuggestion becomes a deliberate practice, not occasional repetition but structured reinforcement of thought, where words are chosen carefully, repeated consistently, and supported by emotion, creating internal programming that shapes external behavior. Specialized knowledge replaces general information, focusing effort on acquiring practical, applicable understanding that directly contributes to the objective, because knowledge without application has no value in the process of achievement. Imagination is applied in two forms, synthetic and creative, both used intentionally to build plans, solve problems, and generate new possibilities, transforming thought into structured action. Organized planning becomes essential, not as a fixed blueprint but as a flexible system that evolves through action, feedback, and persistence, ensuring that progress continues even when initial plans require adjustment. Decision is made quickly and firmly, removing hesitation, because indecision weakens momentum and delays results, while clear decisions create movement and reinforce confidence. Persistence becomes a defining characteristic, not blind repetition but intelligent continuation, where effort is sustained, strategies are refined, and direction remains constant despite temporary setbacks. The influence of environment and association is recognized and controlled, ensuring that surrounding influences support growth rather than introduce doubt, because mental alignment must be protected to remain effective. Fear is identified, analyzed, and reduced through understanding and action, removing its ability to interfere with progress, particularly the fundamental fears that limit thinking and behavior. Emotional energy is redirected and controlled, ensuring that feelings support action instead of disrupting it, maintaining stability and consistency in execution. Thought becomes organized and disciplined, replacing randomness with structure, ensuring that mental energy is directed toward creation rather than distraction. The process reveals itself as a coordinated system, where each principle supports the others, creating a unified approach to achievement that produces consistent and predictable results. Time is recognized as a multiplying factor, where consistent action over extended periods transforms small efforts into significant outcomes, reinforcing the importance of daily discipline. Focus is protected, distractions are eliminated, and attention is directed toward high-value actions, ensuring that effort produces maximum impact. Confidence is built through repeated action and proven results, not assumption, creating a stable internal foundation that supports continuous growth. Value creation becomes central, shifting attention from personal gain to contribution, understanding that results follow value naturally. Patience is combined with intensity, allowing consistent effort without loss of direction, ensuring that progress continues even when results are delayed. Identity evolves through repeated alignment of thought and action, reinforcing the mindset required for achievement, making success a natural outcome rather than a forced effort. The entire process becomes repeatable, applicable to any objective, because the principles remain constant, independent of circumstances or environment. Control over thought, belief, and action creates control over results, establishing a direct relationship between internal discipline and external achievement. The system remains active as long as it is maintained, requiring continuous reinforcement, continuous application, and continuous refinement to sustain growth. Achievement is no longer viewed as, but as the direct result of applying structured thinking, disciplined action, and persistent effort over time. Clarity, discipline, and persistence remain the core elements, working together to convert thought into reality through a controlled and repeatable process. At this stage, the principles begin to operate with greater depth and precision, forming not just a method but a mental discipline that governs every decision, every action, and every response, creating consistency where previously there was uncertainty and direction where there was once hesitation. The principle of the master mind becomes increasingly clear, not as a simple idea of collaboration, but as a structured alliance of minds working in harmony toward a definite purpose, where coordinated thinking multiplies results, expands perspective, and accelerates progress through shared intelligence and aligned effort. Energy, especially mental and emotional energy, is recognized as a resource that must be directed, conserved, and transformed, because scattered energy produces weak results, while concentrated energy applied consistently produces power, and this power is what sustains long-term achievement. The concept of transmutation becomes practical, where emotional drives, impulses, and internal forces are redirected into productive channels, fueling creativity, focus, and persistence, instead of being wasted or misapplied, creating a continuous source of motivation and drive. The subconscious mind continues to operate as a central mechanism, influenced by repetition, emotion, and clarity, and when consistently directed, it begins to organize thoughts, attract ideas, and align behavior with the defined objective without conscious effort. The brain functions as both a receiver and transmitter of thought, responding to dominant mental states, and when aligned with purpose, it begins to detect opportunities, connections, and possibilities that remain invisible to an undirected mind. Intuition develops as a refined sense of awareness, emerging from the interaction between experience, knowledge, and subconscious processing, guiding decisions with increasing accuracy and speed, especially when supported by disciplined thinking. The importance of harmony within the mind becomes evident, because conflicting thoughts create resistance, while aligned thoughts create momentum, and maintaining internal consistency becomes essential for sustained progress. The process of achievement reveals itself as cumulative, where each principle reinforces the others, creating a compounding effect that increases efficiency, clarity, and effectiveness over time. Discipline becomes internalized, no longer dependent on external pressure or temporary motivation, but maintained through identity, through standards, and through a clear understanding of purpose. Attention is directed with greater precision, focusing on high-value activities that produce measurable progress, eliminating unnecessary actions that do not contribute to the objective. The concept of organized effort evolves into strategic execution, where actions are not only consistent but also optimized, ensuring that energy and time are invested in the most effective ways. Adaptability becomes a strength, allowing adjustment of methods without losing direction, ensuring that progress continues regardless of changing circumstances. Persistence reaches a higher level, combining endurance with intelligence, maintaining effort while continuously refining approach, ensuring that obstacles are converted into opportunities for improvement. The influence of external conditions is reduced, as internal control becomes dominant, allowing consistent performance regardless of environment or temporary challenges. The relationship between cause and effect becomes clearer, reinforcing the understanding that every result originates from thought, belief, and action, and controlling these elements ensures predictable outcomes. Confidence stabilizes into certainty, built through repeated proof, consistent action, and a deep understanding of the principles being applied. The process becomes self-reinforcing, where progress strengthens belief, belief strengthens action, and action produces further progress, creating a continuous cycle of growth. Time continues to amplify results, transforming disciplined daily actions into significant long-term achievements, reinforcing the importance of consistency. The system operates as a whole, where no single element dominates, but all elements work together in alignment, creating efficiency and effectiveness in every aspect of execution. Control over thinking remains central, ensuring that mental direction is maintained and that distractions do not interfere with progress. Growth continues as long as the principles are applied, requiring ongoing refinement, ongoing discipline, and ongoing awareness. The structure becomes stable, repeatable, and scalable, allowing application in any area where results are desired. Achievement is understood as a direct outcome of disciplined thinking, organized effort, and persistent execution, applied consistently over time. The process continues without interruption, driven by clarity, supported by structure, and sustained through disciplined application of these principles. At this advanced stage, the integration of all principles forms a coherent and highly controlled mental system, where no effort is wasted and no thought is left without direction, creating a level of precision that transforms intention into measurable and repeatable outcomes. The mastermind principle deepens further, emphasizing not only cooperation but coordination, where each aligned mind contributes specific knowledge, perspective, and energy, creating a combined force greater than individual effort. And this organized alliance becomes a strategic advantage in achieving complex objectives. Mental energy is managed with discipline, directed toward a single dominant purpose, preventing dissipation across multiple distractions, and this concentration increases efficiency, accelerates decision-making, and strengthens persistence. The process of transmutation continues to refine, converting internal drives into focused productivity, enhancing creativity, increasing endurance, and maintaining consistent motivation without dependence on external stimulation. The subconscious mind operates as a constant executor of dominant thoughts, translating repeated mental patterns into behavior, and when properly conditioned, it supports the objective by organizing actions, influencing decisions, and guiding responses automatically. The brain's sensitivity to thought vibration becomes more apparent, responding to clarity, belief, and emotional intensity, and when aligned, it enhances perception, enabling recognition of opportunities and connections that would otherwise remain unnoticed. Intuition strengthens through continuous alignment of thought and experience, providing rapid insight and supporting decision-making with increasing accuracy, particularly when combined with disciplined reasoning. Internal harmony becomes essential, as conflicting beliefs or inconsistent thinking create resistance, while aligned mental states produce smooth and effective execution, ensuring continuity in progress. The structure of achievement reveals itself as systematic and cumulative, where each principle reinforces the others, creating compounding results that increase over time with consistent application. Discipline becomes a stable internal mechanism, independent of external pressure, sustained through identity, reinforced through habit, and maintained through awareness of purpose. Focus is sharpened further, directed exclusively toward actions that produce measurable results, eliminating inefficiency and maximizing the impact of each effort. Strategic execution replaces simple activity, ensuring that every action contributes directly to progress, optimizing both time and energy. Adaptability remains present but controlled, allowing refinement of methods while preserving the integrity of the objective, ensuring that progress continues despite changing conditions. Persistence operates at a higher level of intelligence, combining endurance with analysis, allowing continuous improvement while maintaining forward movement. External influences lose significance as internal control becomes dominant, creating stability and consistency regardless of environment or circumstance. The relationship between cause and effect is fully understood, reinforcing the principle that controlled thought leads to controlled action, and controlled action produces predictable results. Confidence transitions into certainty, supported by repeated application and consistent outcomes, creating a stable foundation for continued growth. The process becomes self-sustaining, where progress reinforces belief, belief reinforces action, and action produces further progress, creating an ongoing cycle of development. Time continues to multiply results, transforming disciplined daily actions into significant achievements, demonstrating the power of consistency over duration. The system functions as an integrated whole, where each principle supports the others, creating efficiency, clarity, and sustained momentum. Control over thinking remains the central discipline, ensuring that direction is maintained and distractions are eliminated. Growth continues through refinement, requiring ongoing awareness, ongoing discipline, and ongoing application of the principles. The structure remains scalable and repeatable, applicable to any objective where these principles are applied with precision and commitment. Achievement is recognized as the direct result of disciplined thinking, organized effort, and persistent execution, consistently applied over time. The process continues with clarity, structure, and control, ensuring that progress remains constant and results remain aligned with the defined purpose. At this point, the entire framework reaches a level of maturity where each principle is no longer applied separately but functions simultaneously, creating a synchronized system in which thought, belief, and action operate as one unified process, eliminating friction and increasing efficiency. Definiteness of purpose becomes absolute, removing all ambiguity, ensuring that every mental and physical effort is directed toward a single clearly defined objective. And this level of precision eliminates wasted energy and accelerates progress. Desire is maintained at a constant intensity, not fluctuating with circumstances, but stabilized through discipline, reinforced through repetition, and protected from external influence, ensuring that it remains the primary driving force behind all action. Faith operates as a controlled state of mind, continuously strengthened through autosuggestion, experience, and consistent results, creating a level of certainty that supports decisive and confident execution. The subconscious mind functions as an organized system of execution, translating dominant thoughts into consistent behavior, reinforcing habits that align with the objective, and continuously supporting progress through automatic response patterns. Autosuggestion remains active as a method of mental conditioning, ensuring that the dominant thoughts remain aligned with purpose, reinforcing belief, and maintaining internal direction without interruption. Specialized knowledge continues to expand, not for accumulation, but for application, ensuring that each piece of information contributes directly to progress and improves the effectiveness of action. Imagination operates with structure, generating solutions, refining strategies, and supporting innovation, ensuring that obstacles are addressed creatively and efficiently. Organized planning evolves into strategic systems, where actions are not only consistent but optimized, ensuring maximum productivity and minimal inefficiency. Decision remains firm and immediate, eliminating delay, maintaining momentum, and reinforcing confidence through consistent action. Persistence operates as a constant force, unaffected by temporary setbacks, maintaining direction while allowing flexibility in method, ensuring continuous movement toward the objective. The mastermind principle functions at a higher level of coordination, where aligned individuals contribute to a shared objective, increasing efficiency, expanding capability, and accelerating results. Energy is managed with precision, directed toward productive activity, conserved from unnecessary expenditure, and applied consistently to sustain long-term effort. The process of transmutation continues to channel internal drives into productive output, maintaining motivation, enhancing creativity, and supporting endurance. The subconscious and conscious mind operate in alignment, eliminating internal conflict and creating a seamless flow between thought and action. Intuition develops into a reliable support mechanism, guiding decisions quickly and effectively, particularly when supported by structured thinking and experience. Internal harmony remains essential, ensuring that all mental processes support the objective, eliminating resistance and maintaining consistent progress. The system demonstrates compounding growth, where each action builds upon the previous, creating increasing results over time through consistent application. Discipline remains stable, supported by identity, reinforced through habit, and maintained through awareness of purpose. Focus is absolute, eliminating distraction, ensuring that all attention is directed toward high-value activities that produce measurable progress. Execution becomes precise, with each action contributing directly to the objective, ensuring efficiency and effectiveness. Adaptability is controlled, allowing refinement of strategy without deviation from purpose, ensuring that progress continues regardless of conditions. Persistence continues to combine endurance with intelligence, ensuring that effort remains effective and aligned with the objective. External conditions no longer determine results, as internal control governs performance, ensuring consistency and stability. Cause and effect are fully understood, reinforcing the relationship between thought, action, and result, ensuring predictable outcomes. Confidence stabilizes into a permanent state, supported by continuous proof and consistent application of principles. The process becomes fully self-reinforcing, where progress strengthens belief, belief strengthens action, and action produces further progress. Time continues to multiply the effect of disciplined effort, transforming consistent action into significant achievement. The system operates continuously, requiring maintenance, reinforcement, and refinement to sustain effectiveness. Growth remains ongoing, requiring continuous application, continuous learning, and continuous discipline. The structure is fully scalable, applicable to any objective, independent of external variables. Achievement is recognized as the direct outcome of controlled thinking, organized effort, and persistent execution. The process continues with stability, clarity, and control, ensuring that results remain aligned with the defined purpose and continue to expand over time. At the highest level, the distinction between thinking and acting begins to dissolve, because thought becomes so organized and so clearly directed that action follows immediately, without internal resistance, without delay, forming a continuous chain between intention and execution. Definiteness of purpose transforms into a permanent mental fixation, not obsessive in a chaotic sense, but controlled and stable, constantly present in the background of all thinking, influencing every decision and every evaluation of opportunity. Desire reaches a stage where it is no longer emotional intensity alone, but a disciplined force that is sustained regardless of temporary outcomes, unaffected by external validation, and reinforced through structured thinking and repeated mental focus. Faith becomes a conditioned reflex of the mind, developed through constant reinforcement, strengthened by accumulated results, and maintained through conscious control of thought, ensuring that doubt cannot dominate the mental process. Autosuggestion evolves into a continuous internal dialogue, where thoughts are no longer accidental, but selected, shaped, and repeated with intention, creating a mental environment that supports the defined objective at all times. The subconscious mind functions as a coordinated system, receiving clear instructions, organizing responses, and influencing behavior in alignment with purpose, eliminating the inconsistency that characterizes undirected thinking. Specialized knowledge is applied with precision, not accumulated for accumulation's sake, but directed towards solving specific problems, improving efficiency, and enhancing the quality of execution. Imagination becomes disciplined, generating solutions within the boundaries of purpose, ensuring that creativity contributes directly to progress rather than distraction. Organized planning evolves into strategic foresight, where actions are not only reactive but anticipatory, preparing for obstacles, identifying opportunities in advance, and maintaining continuous forward movement. Decision becomes instinctive, supported by experience, knowledge, and intuition, eliminating hesitation and preserving momentum. Persistence operates as a constant, unaffected by external fluctuation, maintaining direction through all phases of progress, ensuring that temporary setbacks do not interrupt the process. The mastermind principle reaches full functionality, where aligned minds operate in coordination, sharing knowledge, reinforcing belief, and increasing collective efficiency, creating results beyond individual capacity. Energy is directed with precision, ensuring that mental, emotional, and physical resources are applied only where they produce measurable value, eliminating waste and maximizing output. The process of transmutation becomes fully controlled, converting internal drives into productive effort, sustaining motivation without dependence on external factors. The subconscious and conscious mind operate in complete alignment, eliminating internal conflict, creating consistency in behavior, and supporting continuous execution. Intuition becomes a reliable mechanism, integrating knowledge, experience, and subconscious processing into rapid and effective decision-making. Internal harmony is maintained, ensuring that all mental processes support the objective, preventing resistance and maintaining stability. The system reveals itself as fully integrated, where each principle reinforces the others, creating a unified structure that produces consistent and scalable results. Discipline is no longer effort but identity, maintained automatically through habit and reinforced through awareness. Focus becomes absolute, eliminating all non-essential activity, ensuring that attention remains fixed on high-value actions. Execution is refined to efficiency, where each action is deliberate, measured, and aligned with the objective. Adaptability remains controlled, allowing adjustment of methods while preserving direction. Persistence combines endurance with precision, ensuring that effort remains effective and aligned. External conditions lose influence, as internal control determines performance. Cause and effect are fully internalized, reinforcing the understanding that results originate from controlled thought and disciplined action. Confidence stabilizes into certainty, supported by continuous proof and consistent outcomes. The process becomes self-sustaining, where progress reinforces belief and belief reinforces action, creating continuous growth. Time amplifies results, transforming consistent effort into significant achievement. The system operates continuously, requiring maintenance, refinement, and reinforcement. Growth remains ongoing, driven by disciplined application and continuous improvement. The structure becomes permanent, applicable across all objectives and environments. Achievement is recognized as the natural outcome of this system, not an exception, but a result of correct application. Clarity, discipline, persistence, and control remain the foundation, ensuring that thought is consistently converted into reality through structured and repeatable action. At this final level, the philosophy reaches full coherence, where every principle is no longer applied consciously with effort, but functions as an internal operating system, guiding thought, directing behavior, and sustaining progress without interruption, creating a state in which achievement becomes a natural extension of disciplined thinking. Definiteness of purpose remains fixed and dominant, not requiring constant effort to maintain, because it has been reinforced to the point where it governs perception automatically, filtering opportunities, decisions, and actions in alignment with the objective. Desire is stabilized into controlled intensity, no longer fluctuating with circumstances, but sustained through internal discipline, ensuring that motivation does not depend on external conditions but remains constant. Faith operates as a permanent state of certainty, built through repetition, strengthened through experience, and maintained through continuous alignment of thought and action, eliminating internal conflict and hesitation. Autosuggestion continues as a silent and ongoing process, shaping internal dialogue, reinforcing belief, and maintaining clarity, ensuring that the subconscious remains aligned with purpose at all times. The subconscious mind functions as a fully conditioned system, executing instructions without resistance, organizing behavior, and supporting decision-making through automatic responses aligned with the defined objective. Specialized knowledge is continuously refined and applied, ensuring that understanding evolves alongside experience, increasing efficiency and improving results over time. Imagination remains disciplined and productive, generating solutions, refining strategies, and adapting to changing conditions while maintaining alignment with purpose. Organized planning evolves into a dynamic system of execution, where strategy is continuously adjusted without losing direction, ensuring consistent progress. Decision becomes immediate and precise, supported by clarity and confidence, eliminating delay and preserving momentum. Persistence operates without interruption, sustained by purpose and reinforced by results, ensuring continuous forward movement regardless of obstacles. The mastermind principle remains active, providing external reinforcement, shared intelligence, and expanded capability, increasing efficiency and accelerating progress. Energy is managed with complete awareness, directed exclusively toward productive activity, ensuring maximum effectiveness and minimal waste. Transmutation operates continuously, converting internal drives into focused effort, sustaining productivity and maintaining motivation. The subconscious and conscious mind function in complete harmony, eliminating internal resistance and creating seamless execution. Intuition operates with clarity, supporting decision-making through accumulated experience and subconscious processing, enhancing speed and accuracy. Internal harmony is maintained at all times, ensuring that all mental processes support the objective and contribute to progress. The system demonstrates full integration, where each principle supports the others, creating a stable and efficient structure for continuous achievement. Discipline is fully internalized, functioning automatically through identity, ensuring consistency without reliance on external pressure. Focus is absolute and sustained, eliminating distraction and ensuring that attention remains directed toward high-value activity. Execution is efficient and controlled, with every action contributing directly to the objective. Adaptability remains present, allowing refinement of strategy without deviation from purpose. Persistence continues as a constant force, maintaining direction and ensuring completion. External conditions no longer influence outcomes significantly, as internal control determines performance. Cause and effect are fully understood and applied, ensuring predictable and consistent results. Confidence stabilizes into complete certainty, supported by continuous application and proven outcomes. The process becomes entirely self-reinforcing, where progress strengthens belief, belief strengthens action, and action produces further progress. Time amplifies results continuously, transforming disciplined effort into sustained achievement. The system operates permanently, requiring only maintenance and refinement to sustain effectiveness. Growth continues without limit, driven by disciplined thinking and consistent application of principles. The structure becomes universal, applicable in any context where these principles are applied. Achievement is recognized as the inevitable outcome of this system, not dependent on chance but on controlled and directed effort. Clarity, discipline, persistence, and control remain constant, ensuring that thought is continuously converted into reality through structured and repeatable execution. At a certain point, the entire process becomes internalized, no longer something that requires conscious effort to maintain, but something that operates continuously beneath the surface, guiding thought, influencing behavior and shaping outcomes with precision. The mind stops reacting and begins to command, no longer influenced by uncertainty, but directed by a clearly defined purpose that remains constant regardless of external conditions. Desire is no longer an emotion that rises and falls, but a controlled force that is maintained through discipline, reinforced through repetition, and supported by unwavering clarity of intention. Belief is no longer questioned, because it has been built through consistent reinforcement and proven through action, creating a level of certainty that removes hesitation and allows immediate execution. The subconscious operates without resistance, responding to repeated instructions, aligning behavior with intention, and supporting progress through automatic patterns that have been deliberately formed. Thought becomes selective, controlled, and intentional, eliminating unnecessary distraction and focusing entirely on what contributes to the objective. Decisions are no longer delayed, because clarity removes doubt, and doubt is no longer allowed to dominate the thinking process. Action becomes direct, efficient, and consistent, because it is no longer driven by emotion, but by structure, discipline, and alignment with purpose. Persistence is no longer something that must be forced, it becomes natural, sustained by direction, supported by belief, and reinforced by the understanding that every result is a product of continued effort. The influence of external conditions diminishes, because internal control replaces dependence on circumstances, creating stability in performance and consistency in results. The process becomes predictable, not because outcomes are guaranteed instantly, but because the principles applied produce results over time with certainty. Focus is maintained without effort, because distractions lose significance when the objective is clearly defined and continuously reinforced. Time is no longer seen as a limitation, but as an ally, amplifying consistent effort and transforming disciplined action into measurable achievement. The system operates continuously, requiring only maintenance, reinforcement, and refinement to sustain its effectiveness. Growth becomes inevitable, because the conditions required for progress are consistently maintained. Results begin to reflect the internal structure that has been built, not randomly, but as a direct outcome of controlled thinking and disciplined execution. The need for external validation disappears, replaced by internal certainty and measurable progress. The process no longer feels uncertain, because its structure is understood, its application is consistent, and its outcomes are predictable. At this level, there is no longer confusion about direction, no hesitation in action, no doubt in outcome. Everything aligns. Clarity defines thinking. Discipline defines behavior. Persistence defines progress. And results follow as a natural consequence. At the highest level, the entire process reveals a simple but powerful truth, that everything begins in the mind and is carried forward through disciplined belief and sustained action until it becomes reality. Desire, once defined with clarity and supported by a willingness to give value in return, becomes the starting point of all achievement, transforming from intention into a force that directs thought and behavior with consistency. Faith, built through repetition and reinforced through action, eliminates uncertainty and replaces it with certainty, creating a mental state where hesitation no longer interferes with execution. The subconscious mind, conditioned through repeated thought and emotional intensity, accepts the dominant idea and begins to organize behavior, decisions, and responses in alignment with that idea, turning thought into measurable outcome. Autosuggestion operates as the method through which belief is strengthened, ensuring that the mind remains aligned with purpose and resistant to doubt or distraction. Knowledge, when applied with precision, becomes power, not in theory but in practice, shaping action and improving results through continuous refinement. Imagination transforms ideas into plans, and plans into structured action, providing the path through which desire is converted into achievement. Organized planning ensures that effort is directed, not scattered, allowing progress to continue even when adjustments are required. because persistence guarantees that the right approach will be found. Decision eliminates delay, preserving momentum and reinforcing confidence, while persistence sustains effort through all phases of progress, ensuring that temporary setbacks do not interrupt the process. The coordination of these principles forms a system that operates predictably when applied consistently, where thought directs belief, belief directs action, and action produces results. Time becomes the multiplier, transforming consistent effort into significant achievement, proving that results are not, but the outcome of controlled and repeated application of these laws. At this level, there is no reliance on chance, no dependence on external conditions, only the continuous alignment of thought, belief, and action toward a definite purpose. The mind becomes the controlling force, directing energy, shaping decisions, and determining outcomes with increasing precision. The process no longer feels uncertain, because its structure is understood and its results are predictable. Everything follows a sequence. A definite purpose. A burning desire. A trained belief. A disciplined mind. A structured plan. A persistent execution. And from this sequence, results are created. Not hoped for. Not wished for. Created.